Allan Meehan is an Australian outlaw bikie who served as the national president of the Comanchero Motorcycle Club from 2022 to 2023. However, these dates are disputed, as reports suggest that he still might hold this position. A key figure in Australia's criminal underworld, Meehan has been linked to organised crime, violent power struggles, and major drug trafficking networks. The 38-year-old bikie was born into a family of Irish descent in Sydney, growing up in a public housing estate in Miller, one of the city's most notorious suburbs. He was exposed to crime and club culture at an early age, quickly earning a reputation for trouble. Meehan attended Trinity Catholic College in Auburn but dropped out early, disillusioned with academics and caught up in trouble that pulled him away from school. By the age of 18, he had joined the Rebels Motorcycle Club, where he ascended the ranks rapidly. With the Rebels, he earned the nickname Little General, suggesting both his tactical mind and his ability to command respect, despite his youth. He then became the president of the Rebels Cronulla chapter, solidifying his status as a rising enforcer in the outlaw bikie world. Allan also became close to the club's famous Vella family, particularly Jesse Vella. However, his ambitions stretched beyond the Rebels. Under the influence of Comanchero leader and world commander Mark Buttall, Meehan defected to the Comancheros, bringing his strategic mind and street notoriety with him. Allan served time behind bars from 2014 to 2016 for possessing a pistol, but after his release, Meehan's reputation as a power player grew within the Comanchero ranks. In 2020, following the assassination of Canberra chapter president Peter Sione Ulavalu, Meehan was appointed to fill the vacancy. By 2021, he had taken control of the powerful Sydney chapter, the nerve center of the Comancheros operations, particularly in drug importation and distribution. For years, Meehan had been one of the top-ranking Comancheros in Australia, but never quite an insider. When Mick Murray was charged with murder earlier that year, few saw Meehan as the one to claim the role of national president. But everything shifted after the savage attack on the Comancheros' powerful sergeant-at-arms, Tarek Zahed, shot 10 times, and the brutal murder of his brother Omar at an Auburn gym. In the aftermath of that shocking carnage, Meehan stepped into power, ready to command with the force of a storm. Against all odds, Zahed survived the attack and made a dramatic comeback, rejoining the club and cementing his reputation for resilience. Dubbed Hard to Kill, he became a symbol of defiance in the underworld. Over the years, he and Meehan had forged a close bond, driven by shared ambitions and mutual respect, a connection evident in photos from their nights of celebration. However, as the saying goes, power always comes at a price, and Meehan was no exception. Meehan's rise to power made him a primary target for Australian law enforcement. Soon after his rise to the throne, Meehan was issued a serious crime prevention order by the New South Wales Police, severely restricting his activities. Superintendent Grant Taylor warned, "If you're going to be the national president of the Comancheros, this is what you can expect." Despite these restrictions, Meehan continued to strengthen his hold, masterminding one of the most significant recruitment moves in outlaw bikie history. In 2022, he convinced Jesse Vella, the successor to the Rebels' MC throne, to defect to the Comos, a move that sent shockwaves through the underworld. The defection occurred just weeks after the death of Vella's father, Gino Vella, a prominent Rebels figure. Underworld sources claimed this was a power move designed to humiliate the Rebels and assert the Comancheros' dominance. However, Meehan's reign was marked by violence and betrayal. In September 2022, one of his closest allies, Kyle Leofa, was shot in the face, while another Comanchero member, Levi Johnson, was stabbed to death. Around the same time, whispers of a power struggle with the imprisoned Mick Murray began to surface, adding more instability to the club's leadership. In early 2023, Meehan relocated to Queensland, reportedly for his own protection. His lawyer explained in court that there were widespread threats against anyone suspected of being associated with the Comancheros. Meehan had been specifically warned by Sydney police that a $3 million hit had been put on his head. Despite his attempts to lay low, Meehan violated the serious crime prevention order by failing to report his new address and using an encrypted device. In February 2023, he was arrested in a dramatic early morning raid on the Gold Coast and extradited to New South Wales to face charges. Meehan initially pleaded not guilty but later struck a plea deal in July 2023, admitting to one charge of violating the order in exchange for a $5,000 fine and a 2-year community corrections order. Following his arrest, Meehan stepped down as national president, handing control to his right-hand man, Bimir Sarasevich. However, sources suggest that Meehan's influence within the club remains strong, and despite Sarasevich's Melbourne base, power within the Comancheros still flows through Sydney. Meehan's ability to maneuver within the most violent outlaw motorcycle club in Australia has cemented his reputation as a ruthless tactician and a brilliant strategist. Some believe he remains deeply involved in the Comancheros' core operations, including overseeing the commission, a mafia-style tax the club is attempting to impose on anyone importing drugs into Australia. With most shipments landing in Sydney before being distributed nationwide, control over this trade is where true power lies, although a lot of bikies have moved out of Sydney because of the pressure the cops keep putting on them. Meehan's name still carries undeniable weight in the Australian underworld, his influence lingering like a storm on the horizon. He was last seen at the Comancheros National Run, commanding his crew with the authority of a man who refuses to be forgotten. Though his official position may be uncertain, his presence alone sends a clear message. The real question lingers in the shadows: has Allan Meehan been taken out of the game, or is he merely biding his time, plotting his next ruthless move? In a world of bikies where power is never given, only taken, silence doesn't always mean defeat, it often means something far more dangerous is coming.